Evening, guys. We're more than halfway through the year, so what we thought we'd do is just stop, take a break, and just reflect on what we've done in the last 6 months, and then project some personal next steps into what we can do for the last half of the year. So first in the year, we started a series called Waking the Dead, which really was this idea that God's given us a new heart, and He wants it fully alive to Him and all creation. It was a call for our hearts to come alive, not just to Him on Sundays or to Him in our quiet times, but to come alive to Him in our workspaces, in our relationships, in our marriages. It was this idea that we could fully trust our hearts and that we could trust this big adventure that God's calling us to. This series then morphed into something called We the Strong, which took us from this idea of a personal revelation of our hearts to this corporate idea of a group of people, a group of hearts, all fully alive and on mission, ready to bring heaven's realities to this earth. We then changed tracks and we looked at another group of people who God had made promises to. And that series was called A Brief History of Everything. And really it was a look at promises that God had made to the people of Israel right at the beginning, all the way through history and up until this moment. And when we started looking at His word and at His promises, we could see that He was faithful to them, He was faithful to His word, and so we could start to believe that He's faithful to us too. That series then ended, which launched us into a longer series that we called Life Hacks. And really the heart of this series was to look at God's plan and purpose for us, our lives, and for all creation and for those around us. And we got really practical around His truths and His word. So that series ended and we then launched into the series that we've just finished, which is called Make It Count. And really the heart of this series was to dig into what's God's thoughts on our finances. What does He want us to do with them? How does He want us alive to the purposes that He's got planned for the finances that we have? And we started looking at tithing, we started looking at first principles, and really we started looking at this idea of what does it look like to have hearts that are fully alive and generous. And so really, guys, that's where we've got to this year. So what I'd like us to do now is stop and take some time to do the 3 following things. I want you to reflect on the year past and go, what are the things that I need to stop doing, stop saying, stop thinking? Having done that, you need to ask the question, what are the things that God's calling me to start saying, start doing, and start thinking? And then lastly, you get to look at the stuff you've been doing really well and you get to go, what are the things that God wants me to continue saying and continue doing and continue thinking?